of my heat. Got a little loose coming out of 3. Got it all beat up and straightened out. The boys tell me that we're ready to run now. That's a damn good thing, 'cause that green flag's waving and I'm on the gas. I put my sweat and blood to these nuts and bolts. Yeah, I turn a wrench. It's the only way I can afford to fill it up again, tear it up again. It's the only way I'm ever gonna learn. One more left turn.
How's it going, everybody? Once again, Inside Line, presented to you by our friends at Dirt Track Bank. Ryan Kumpf hanging out with you again here on another Wednesday evening. Of course, I've got my cohort, one of the headmen of the Nebraska Dirt Crown, and of course, the Stock Car Crown Summer Series, Scott Angel. Scott, you staying warm here tonight after a little bit of snow coming through Nebraska?
Oh, man. I'm just glad I'm not in your neck of the woods. It didn't start snowing here. No, maybe an hour ago, and we didn't have much before that. So our ground, we can still see the grass. So I hear up your way it's a little bit worse, Ryan. So you guys can keep it. I apologize.
Well, we need the moisture anyway, but yeah, here between Columbus and Norfolk, I think they're talking at least 10 plus inches of snow over throughout the day and throughout the night tonight. So that's always fun. But hey, we got to talk about racing. That's always going to warm us up. And of course, we got a lot on the program. You notice we only have me and Scott here tonight. Unfortunately, Rob could not make it. He's going to take the night off, but he'll be back with us here in a few weeks. But we're going to be rolling as a duo here tonight. We got a lot of great activities tonight. We got a lot of great interviews going on. Of course, we've got Tyler Perry on talking about some big sprint car races coming up. Of course, Chase and Shelby Alves will be on the program a little bit later talking about the big Stock Car Crown Series race up at it's just across the Nebraska border in South Dakota at Interstate Speedway, and of course their 2023 season. We were supposed to have Nic Baalman on with us. Of course, Nick is with our new title sponsor for the Stock Car Crown Summer Series. We'll maybe hit on that a little bit tonight, and then we'll have Nick on here in a few weeks, and then of course we'll wrap up with some headlines and of course to look at this weekend's swap meet. Scott, I know you've been really working hard at that here the last not saying weeks, that's been months as a process, but it's got to feel good that you're finally down to the last few days before the big swap meet in Columbus.
I don't know if you feel good or you get more nervous as it gets closer for curveballs, and then like you said, the Mother Nature throwing in her hand as well. So we'll be good. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. A lot of exciting things and a lot of good things coming up this weekend. So we'll touch on that. But yeah, the swap meet's going to be a good one, and man, what a show. Unfortunately, Nick from Mel Hambelton not able to make it, a little under the weather tonight. So we'll still talk about those great folks, and can't say thank you enough for them for jumping on board as our presenting sponsor for our Stock Car Crown Summer Series this year, both East and West Series. Mel Hambelton with Phil Nightingale and Nick down there. Those guys, great, classy people down there jumping on and wanting to support the good in racing here. So can't thank those guys enough. And of course, Jay Burdick and Dirt Track Bank presenting this deal with us. Can't thank him enough either. So a lot of great people we need to thank, but Nick and it says Nice Baalman, not Nic Baalman, but it's all good, Ryan. It's like I did it for you. It's all good.
Night, of course.
He's a nice guy.
It's been that kind of day. Yeah,
absolutely. He is a nice
Head
guy.
on over to Head on over to mhrfordracing.com. That's their website. They've got, I was looking on there earlier today. They had tires, parts, tools, accessories, all sorts of stuff for all you great race enthusiasts. So, yeah, we're really excited to have them jump on for not only just the West Series, but the East Series as well. So that's a pretty big undertaking for them to hop on both series. But we got a lot of great nights coming up this year, Scott. And I know here the next few weeks, I'm really excited to really dive into some of these racetracks that we're going to be visiting throughout the summer, which obviously we have the Alves on here tonight. But we're going to go ahead and start off. I guess we were debating on a question of the week here tonight. I think let's just throw this out. If you're watching the show here tonight, I'm interested to see where you're watching from, okay? So go ahead and comment the town and state you are watching in, just to see kind of the scope of our viewers here this evening. Why don't we do that, and we'll see how many Nebraska viewers, how many different states we've got watching in here tonight with episode 6 of Inside Line, presented to you by Dirt Track Bank. Now, we talked about having Tyler Perry on. Of course, Tyler talking with us about the Stewart Alley Memorial, which was just recently announced at Eagle Raceway. And that's going to be a part of a big touring series kicking off here in 2023 with the Malvern Bank 360 Sprint Cars. Tyler, this is pretty exciting to see, especially at Eagle Raceway, 360 Sprint Cars return.
Yeah, it is. It's something I've been a part of most of my life. I remember going to Eagle as a kid, watching 360s on Saturdays, and I think they had dirt late models on Fridays. So playing off history was easy. There's no better place in the United States that puts on a better sprint car show. And the late models, they do too. That's been the real reason behind it, though, is I raced for a long time with Billy and Stewart Alley, and Stewart passed away here a couple years ago, and it's been on my mind ever since to pay respects to their family and the memory of Stewart. So that gave me a perfect avenue to do this, to give them, a night that we can all get together, do one thing that Stewart loved that we all did together, and have it I want to have it an annual event, and there's no better place to have it than Eagle.
Yeah, Tyler, this is an idea that you've had, but you put the details together rather quickly, and once you hit the ground, you were running. And to see, let's face it, probably some of the best late models in the area with some of the best sprint cars in the area. And man, you've done a great job with making the date. I mean, there's no races around. Yeah, there's that NASCAR race or something down south, but why would you go to Kansas City and watch NASCAR when you can watch 360 sprint cars and like super late models? Let's not say late models, super late models at Eagle Raceway. So September 10th, I think that's a great deal. But Tyler, one of the cool things, you were able to put a 22 in victory lane many times, throwing a little bit tribute back to Stewart, putting a 22 on Trevor's car. Just some of the great things you've done so far. You're a great person to be around. One of the things, you're a man behind the scenes normally, though. So this is going to be a different deal for you to be the face of probably one of the biggest sprint car races we'll see. I'm not going to say throughout the Midwest, but maybe even the nation before it's over, I think.
I appreciate that, Scott. Yeah, it was always a privilege and a lot of fun to work with Billy and Stewart, and likewise with Trevor and the Grossenbacher family. And even behind me on the wall, Stewart was sick, and it happened quickly. And all summer, I even told you a bunch of times, and you're the one that helped me make it happen, that I wanted to run the 22 on a car one more time, as Billy wasn't racing. So I didn't want to be the reason that the family got a lot of unwanted attention and questions, though. So as soon as I seen that Bobby had mentioned something about Stewart being sick, it was literally a Friday afternoon, I think, at 3:00, and I called you and said, "This is what I want to do. Will you help me do it?" And Trevor had a wing put together that we didn't have any stickers on it yet, and I called him and said, "Hey, would you do this for me? Like, can we race the 22 one more time for Stewart, as he wasn't doing very good?" And he was beyond all aboard, and we got it lettered up. And it wasn't even something that I asked the Alley family about. We did it, and I sent pictures of it as we put the stickers on to their family, and Stewart got to see it a few days before he passed, and that felt good to me that he got to see that. And I told Suzette, his wife, and Billy's mom, that Stewart wasn't a guy that I could walk up to and tell him how much I meant to him. He'd probably tell me how messed up I was or laugh at me, and he just that wasn't a conversation he had with Stewart. So my way is to show him, and that was one way, and this is another way. they've done a lot for me. Learned a lot from racing with them. Had a lot of fun. Me and Billy talked this morning about a bunch of fun racing memories we have over the years. And this will be a really cool chapter to add to all that. And I think for everybody, you played off the schedule part. So that all came together. You know, I got to looking at schedules, and the biggest 360 sanctioning body isn't scheduled that week. Those guys are in the area headed to Spencer, Iowa that Tuesday. Recently, actually this week, we co-sanctioned the event with MSTS and Furby. So a bunch of South Dakota, maybe Minnesota people come down for it. I don't believe there's any racing in Missouri that weekend. Be some 305 guys in the area from the week before to Eagle for the 305 Nationals that can get a hold of a 360. It'll be a really big event for a really nice purse, and who knows what's to come yet. Like I said, it's all came together quick. I think really a month and a half, I've kind of went from an idea to rolling. There's been a lot of help. Kyle Burke and his sister Belinda Strobel, they've been a big help to me in getting this off the ground. The Kaziski family has been great to work with. Roger and Racine at Eagle have been amazing to work with. It's gone quickly. And Scott, you've been my 24-hour ally about any dumb question that I didn't even know I'd come across. So I appreciate all your help and things you've helped me do. Think of people to call, being on here to talk about it. It's all been good. And Jay Burdick, he's been a ton of help. He just from the support of the idea in the beginning to actually helping with the event. And now I'm promoting a race with 2 series with his name on it. So I can't think, and I'm on a show that he sponsors too. So I guess outside of this shirt, Jay's kind of sponsoring my life right now. I don't know if he knows that or views it the same way, but yeah, thanks to Jay and everybody involved. There will be a lot of help, and there will be a lot of details that come out as we get closer, but I'm looking forward to this in a big, big way.
Yeah, and Tyler, that's the great thing. You know, as details come out, we're going to be here for you and help you any way we can with the inside line and Dirt Track Bank and everything that we have going on too. But one of the things that you and I have a conversation a lot, Ryan. I mean, you're part of this too. This is something that the younger generation, we can all talk. We want races, and boy, it'd be cool to see a race. And man, what if? But ifs and buts don't get anything done. So, Tyler, I think it's really something cool to see you. You know, you have a little baby at home and a beautiful wife, and you just now step out and you're going to go ahead and do this as you're getting your family started. I mean, it's something that's crazy. But like you and I talk, you know, if we don't start stepping up and doing some of these things, just like our next guest, Chase and Shelby. I mean, they're young, just starting their family and jumping in the promoter's ring. If us young people don't start getting involved, where is the sport really going to be? So I commend you on something like that as well, Tyler.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. I want my daughter Paige to grow up with the same opportunities to be around a sport that's given, taken, and taught so much to me. I kind of live it and breathe it. It's my 9 to 5. It's my weekends. I owe everything. I mean, most of my friendship circles from this. So yeah, it's something I grew up a part of. My dad worked on Kent Tucker's late model growing up. So I also kind of got spoiled with watching him win all the time. Always were real close family friends with Burks too. So I've been surrounded by, I somehow ended up a sprint car kid.
Amazing.
Don't ask, but maybe it's because they're to the eye, they're more simple than crawling under a late model. But no, it's cool to be able to have the opportunity to do something like this, and to do it for the Alley family is the biggest priority to me. That to make it something that their family and friends can get together, be proud of, and we can all remember Stewart. Suzette said she didn't want anybody to forget Stewart, and anybody that ever met him definitely never would. But this will go a little ways in making maybe a new legacy towards remembering that. That's the place they started. That's where Billy got his first sprint car win. So yeah, it was a no-brainer on where to have it. Glad Roger was on board with the idea. It's just all cool. And like you said about the younger generation, you look and Joe's not going to want to do this forever. Roger has said he's not going to want to do this forever. Tracks are going away. If it's not for people our age or right around our age to start throwing our hat in the ring for some of this stuff, I don't know where it's going to be, if it's going to be at all. So yeah, that's a small part of it. It's priority number one what the race is for, and then priority number two is preserving the sport. And that weekend kind of plays off a good history with we used to have the Nebraska Cup that same weekend. So, and you don't go up against Husker football in this state. And that weekend is Nebraska, Colorado, and that I'd have 6 people show up. So that wouldn't be a good swing at the first pitch. So yeah, it's taken a lot of thinking, a lot of phone calls and work, but I couldn't be happier so far. There's been some cool people associated with the Alley's racing history that are going to step up into this. That's going to make it even that more special for them. So I look forward to all that and being able to tell everybody all that kind of stuff too.
And that's the cool part.
Tyler, I got a quick question for you. Since you've been in sprint car racing for so long, what are some of the things that you traveling around to different racetracks that you can bring to this being your first promoted race? Obviously, what can you take from other experiences at other racetracks to apply to this event? And then also maybe some sprint car guys maybe wondering maybe what the format is. It could be like a traditional ASCS format, or is that still kind of something that you're working out the kinks with?
Those are good questions. So to bring stuff from other places, with the Alley family, we raced a ton at the Knoxville Raceway weekly for years, and raced there often in the last years that we raced too. Everybody can learn a few hundred things from that place. You pull in on the back stretch to go around the racetrack. I'm 35 years old, and when I drive into that town in my camper, let alone a race rig, I go by the cemetery and start to turn down 14, and I start shaking and getting goosebumps. They make you feel special racing there. They know that you're the show. They treat you like a rock star because they understand you guys are the show. So, they have a great safety crew, and I think Roger does a lot of the same things well. His races aren't just races, they're an event. So giving people the same feeling that they're at not just a race, but at an event is something big that I look at. Something that catches people's eye when they walk in, signage, whether it be event shirts, a different format. Your format question, I put a poll out on Facebook just as a question, as a status, and I really didn't get that much traction. I had traction from local people that can't stand the IMCA format, which wasn't what I was after. What the format I really like is everybody kind of likes the All-Star Circuit of Champions format where you qualify against your heat race, and I think they do maybe a 6-car invert, if I remember right. But the format I like the most is the Pennsylvania 410 Speed Week format. They qualify, and you qualify kind of against your heat, but the only car inverted is the quick timer in the heat, and he starts 4th. With that, your heat race winner makes a redraw. So if you're the quick time guy and you start 4th and win your heat, you can still do some damage and knock another car out. So you can take, say there's 4 heats and you knock a guy out. Now you can start no worse than 7th. If you're unlucky, like Trevor that I race with, he would draw. 8 or 7, whatever the deepest one is every time. So you can do some damage and it still rewards people for being fast. I hate anything that penalizes you for being fast. If you start 4th and they take 4, if you're the quickest qualifier, you should easily be able to maintain your spot. So if you can win your heat race, you can do some damage too and reward yourself. I like that one the most. We'll just have to kind of play it as we get closer. I talked to a few people on format, and I agree with one thing that Paul Silva told me with format, that everybody in racing anymore has a bullet and everybody has good cars. So everybody's faster than they were 10 years ago. So the days of starting 8th in a 360 show and running and winning your heat race are maybe not dead, but they'd be a miracle. So to reward you for being fast and give you a chance to get your, reward yourself. I like that a lot, but that's something that'll get kicked around. Heck, I got many months to dwell about that part, but I like that you asked that because I want something that's different. I want it to be an event, not just a race.
We talked about the sprint cars the whole time, but obviously that's where Stewart and Billy, they were most prevalent, but also now bringing back the super late models to the Eagle Raceway is going to be a huge part of it. We haven't talked at all. It's $5,522 to win the feature for the sprint cars and $4,000 to win for the late models with a $600 to start for the late models. So I look for big car counts on both sides and the excitement of big ground pounders back at the Eagle Raceway will be really exciting.
Yeah, I love that. Like I said, I grew up around late models and I still love them. I was joking with Kyle Burke. My daughter started playing with one of his dirt late models the other day, and I sent him a picture and told him it was her new favorite toy. And he always makes fun of me that I work on sprint cars and calls them go-karts. So he thought it was cool that her favorite new toy doesn't have wings on it. But no, I love watching really anything at Eagle, but late models have always put on an awesome show there. Kyle's kind of stunk up the show the last God knows how many times. So I'm sure he's looking forward to it, but I think it'll be fun to watch someone like Jake Neal and Jesse Sobbing and people not afraid to tear the deck out. That'll be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that equally, trust me. And the purses, man, racing's expensive. Scott and I sell race cars and race car parts every day. And I'm one with the consumer. Like, we both get to kind of play both sides of the fence as a salesman and a consumer. And I sit there, and people are like, tires cost what? Well, that's kind of partly behind this. It's let's give them a reward to put on a heck of a good show. That's a big part of it behind it. Let's make it an event, and the what draws big names and teams and stuff like that is big money. I plan to have Scott and I have talked before. I'm a cool trophy guy. I'm not as much a big cardboard check guy. They don't have many big check banks. So I'm a cool trophy guy, and obviously there'll be a big cardboard check too, but we'll come up with something cool. I have ideas and we'll see what we can come up with, but yeah, it'll be cool. I can't wait in my ideal world, those are the two classes that you get to watch anywhere. I love watching it at I-80 and Eagle. I love too. So that'll be awesome.
It will be awesome. Tyler, how can people follow along with the progression of this besides obviously on Inside Line with us? You'll see some updates on Eagle Raceway, but where can they find all your information at?
I have a Facebook page for the company. It's Tyler Perry Enterprises, just plain and simple on Facebook. I'll share it on my personal stuff as stuff comes out, but yeah, that'll be the central location for all that. Other than that, I haven't got anything else going yet. I've just been, as Scott knows how it goes, been just unbelievably busy. But yeah, that'll be where everything starts with.
Awesome. So check him out on Tyler Perry Enterprises on Facebook and follow along here. Tyler, we thank you for your time this evening. We're going to let
Thank you.
you go about your evening. We know you got a busy evening here tonight.
Always.
So thank you very much. We're excited to see this come back to Eagle Raceway, and thank you for everybody that's helped you out so far as well.
Yeah, and thank you guys too. It's cool to have a place to talk about it with good people. Yeah, I look forward to every aspect of it, be it challenging or whatever comes my way. I'm ready for it. So again, I appreciate you guys a lot. You guys do a lot of good too. Promoting racing is something that needs to happen more, and I mean promoting as in speaking positive about it. It's easy to jump on this platform we all have and you go to a race that's too dusty or it gets over too late, or that's one thing this has given me in a short span is, holy crap, if you'll ever get me to ever complain about a racetrack or a promoter or an event, it will take me hours to come up with something bad to say, because now I know how the shoes fit on the other side of the fence. So though it's a long ways away, it's blown my mind how hard you have to work to make an idea like this a reality. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be cool to see the turnout for that family in this event. That'll be what, let's fill that place, and that's reward enough for me.
Yeah, we'll fill it up, and we'll put on a great show for the Alley family. And I mean, really, let's face it, the 360 Sprint Car fans and the Super Late Model fans. So, again, we appreciate your time this evening, Tyler, and we'll let you jump about your evening as it's a busy one, and let us know however we can help you out.
Always will. Thank you guys very much.
You bet. Thank you, Tyler.
So once again, that's Tyler Perry. He's going to be he's essentially the main director of that big race at Eagle. Man, I tell you what, Scott, I grew up going to Eagle all the time, weekly racing, and the 360 shows back in the day were so cool. Roger's done a great job with the Race Saver Sprint Series. And I mean, it's one of the only tracks in the country that averages over 30 race cars per just weekly night. But to see the 360s back is going to be very special. And plus, like you're saying, the super late models, I mean, they only make maybe an appearance a year every now and then. I think they had them the last, like, maybe 2 or 3 years ago they had them, but it's been a while. So that's going to be a great event. It's
super exciting to see this deal come together, and the hard work that Tyler and his team are putting together. It's unbelievable. But Roger Racine, I know they're going to be excited. They're going to have a great racetrack for the Stewart Alley Memorial. To see late models back, I mean, like Tyler said, as we grew up as kids, you could watch late models on Friday night, sprint cars on Saturday night. That going away, I mean, the late models haven't been there much, and they always put on a good show when they were there. The way the racetrack's been lately, it's going to be good. And like Tyler said, Jesse Sobbing and Jake Neal, those guys weren't around back in the day. But they will be there, and they will be ripping the lip at that place. So sprint cars of the 360 Malvern Bank series and the Malvern Bank super late models, I mean, it's going to be an awesome show. And it's a Sunday, Sunday, not a Saturday Eagle, Sunday. So that's going to be super cool. So I hope everybody gets behind that deal.
Speaking of Sundays, this next racetrack we're talking to races on Sundays normally, and it's going to be exciting to see the Stock Car Crown Series back. We continue our series tonight looking into each and every racetrack that we're going to be visiting this summer on both the East and West Series, and we're talking with, of course, Chase and Shelby Alves. Of course, that name very familiar in the IMCA ranks. Of course, they've been racing IMCA modifieds and sport mods for I don't know how many years, whether it be on the West Coast or the Midwest. Chase, glad to have you on here tonight. Number one, what's it like promoting a racetrack now instead of being behind the wheel?
Well, a lot of learning going on, you know, and meeting all the people and, you know, the sponsors that were there and trying to get new sponsors to help the racetrack and employees and food and, you know, the list goes on. You know, just as a racer, you know, you see all that side of it, and then you get breaking into learning all the backstory and, you know, and filling in all the blanks is it's been eventful, but it's going good, and we're definitely excited.
Dude, super excited to have you and Shelby back here in the Midwest. First off, what the heck are you thinking? You left sunny Arizona and now you're sitting in the
Yeah.
blizzard in South
Yeah.
Dakota. I mean, first off, what the heck? So we know
Well,
you're crazy enough to be a promoter.
yeah,
But
The main-
wow, welcome to the Midwest.
definitely. I mean, the main reason is you know, just searching for a better life for our little one is the main reason. Obviously, at the beginning of this deal, we had no intentions of getting a lease in a racetrack or doing anything like that. But you know, I was obviously listening to the you know, the podcast here a minute ago, and he was talking about the younger generation stepping up, and it's just kind of one of those deals where, you know, a couple of my favorite racetracks in Arizona have closed down, and we got out here, and you know, I saw that post, and we raced there in July, I think it was, and you know, I won there, and Shelby ran good, and you know, we had a good time, and I was like, man, I'm excited to get to race there, you know, on Sunday nights, and obviously it's one of those things that you don't get to experience because in Arizona, you know, you only get to race one night a week and an occasional practice on a Friday or so. Everything out here is, you know, you can go race any night of the week, you know, especially where we're at, pretty much within 3.5 hours, you can race Monday to Sunday, you know? So it's, I mean, the main reason for it was we just didn't want to see another racetrack close down. And a lot of our friends that, you know, are partial to the reason why we kind of moved to the area, and they race there, and just kind of one of those things that we wanted to, you know, see the backside and, you know, get to run a business and let our child grow up at a racetrack that, you know, basically what we did when we were younger, you know, and it'll be fun. We're definitely excited, and getting our feet wet with it with the first season and learning about, you know, the do's and the don'ts and cleaning everything up, and just getting it to where we want, you know, we see how racetracks are all across the country, and the nice, you know, the nicer places and the places that we're like, you know, you don't really think about those kind of things until, you know, you're at that point where you have to do them yourself. So, I don't know.
You guys have been thrown into that situation where you have to make the decisions of what's the best choice for the racetrack. And man, from the sounds of things, you guys already have dirt work going and other improvements already happening. This wasn't announced, but what, a month and a half ago that you guys were going to take over this track, and now here we are a month and a half later, and you guys are, you know, up to your neck in work that's already happening out there.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing for me and my wife, and we've talked about this, and we've talked about it with other people. You look at Stewart Speedway, you look at Cocopaw, you look at all these places, and the main reason why, you know, we race is to go, you know, to those bucket list racetracks of, man, that place races 4 wide, top to bottom, place is smooth. It's never ever about the money. I mean, it is for some people, but I feel like my personal opinion as a racer is, you know, if the racetrack is awesome, races wide, you can run top to bottom, you're going to draw more cars, and you're going to draw people that, you know, wouldn't normally come because the racetrack's awesome, you know? So that's my deal is, first of all, getting the racetrack up to, you know, my standards, Mike's standards. You know, he's a good friend of mine and has been a huge help and is going to continue to help me and get the racetrack to where I feel like where it should be. You know, it's a good size, it's in a good area. The Sunday night deal doesn't scare me because there's not a whole lot of racetracks that do run on Sunday nights, and some people have stuff to take care of on Saturdays. There's been multiple times where we show up to the racetrack late on a Saturday because we had to do something with the baby, or, you know, just stuff doesn't happen, and you can end up saying, well, we're not going to race tonight, and we'll just get geared up for Interstate on Sunday, you know, and that's kind of what we're looking forward to. And yeah, so, I mean, we're definitely excited about the whole ordeal. And I think that kind of what we're basing everything off of, and getting the right help and just getting the place turned around and turned up, and getting it to where we believe it should be and what it can be is my number one priority at this point.
Well, that area, the Siouxland area, I mean, it's crazy talented. The talent of racers, the quality of racers, the number of racers that are up there. Um, you guys coming in a little bit younger, it's going to be really cool to bring in young folks, and I'm sure the ideas that you guys are going to bring in there are just going to grow the interest in that racetrack, and it's something that's super cool. I can honestly say that's one place I've never seen a race. I've drove by that place 100 times, and I always drive by it and I wonder as I'm going down the interstate, man, what if a race car would fly out of turn 3?
Right.
You know,
That
what would you
that place
think
is
going down the
tight and
interstate?
action packed there, Scott. You're gonna enjoy it. I've been there once, and I watched it in the infield, and you got to have your head on a swivel because there's action everywhere on that place.
Absolutely. I mean, just the night that we were there, there was, there was tons of passing going on, and I started 14th and I ended up winning that night. So it's like, it's not impossible to do, but can it be better? Anything can always be better, So we are, stock car racing is one of my favorite racing. I had an IMCA stock car myself, and just the area that I was in, the stock cars we were trying to grow it, and then the one, Arizona Speedway closing down. It was kind of one of those things where I didn't want to get stuck with a car that I couldn't race anywhere in the state of Arizona, so I ended up selling it. And at this point, I kind of wish that I didn't, because I absolutely enjoy stock cars. It creates some of the best racing, in IMCA, I think. I mean, Coca-Cola last week, I think, stock cars had by far the best racing. And, you watch Super Nationals, it's always so close. And we're definitely excited, and, get some guys that are, may have seen it or been around it, or, heard bad things or whatever, to get them to come. And, there's some money on the line for it. So that's cool. And plus, obviously, Park Jefferson being right next door, that's a cool deal too. And just kind of bring awareness, for the guys that were like, I just, it's Sunday, and, they might end up racing there for that dirt crown deal and absolutely love it. And, we might get a couple more guys, every once in a while, to come down and race with us. So we're super excited about that deal for sure.
Yeah, that's the cool part. I mean, Rob, my partner in the dirt crown here, gave you guys a phone call as soon as you found out you were promoting the place, and you guys were all in from the word go. So couldn't be more excited about that, more appreciative about that. August 13th is going to be a huge night at Interstate. Let's face it, I don't know that the out-of-towners can come up there and clean up like they do at some of these other places. And that's something that's so cool about the stock car class is it doesn't matter where you go. It's good competition, and to bring in what's said to be some high-end guys or national champion guys, they're not guaranteed to walk away. Some of the other classes you bring in a national champion and you watch them drive away from the field from 16th to 18th, and the stock car class isn't that way. And definitely the stock car class up in the Siouxland area is going to be really hard hitting, and it's going to be one of those things. I think is going to be a great race and a great weekend. When you can double up too, go to Interstate, go to Park Jeff, that's going to be a great weekend up there.
Absolutely, it's a huge deal. And I mean, me thinking about it from the racer standpoint, it's 2 nights. They're literally right across the street from each other. Good money both nights. What more could you go wrong with, And a lot of these, races, they're single nighters, and I have a feeling that we're going to get quite a few cars just because it is a 2-day show pretty much, and the fact that it's right next door to each other with Wayne is a big deal, and we're obviously going to make sure and work on the racetrack hard and get everything, how we want it, and get the surface to where we want it. And it's not that it was bad before, but just kind of expectations from myself and from Mike as well. There's a lot of potential with the place, and I want it to be, a bucket list racetrack. And I don't think that's impossible to do or come up with. And I'm ready to get the season going. It's kind of one of those deals where you're kind of sitting around waiting, and hunting for sponsors, and, doing all the dealing with the food and pit parking. And, we bought we actually bought all the billboards from I-80, so Interstate Speedway is actually going to have billboards around it, so that'll be pretty cool. Not entirely sure if that's going to happen before the race season or not. I'm hoping so. We all are. So that'll be cool, you know, and just clean the place up and you know, make it what it deserves to be, you know.
It's going to be
about
awesome.
The upcoming schedule, Chase. That's going to be a pretty big season for you. Talk about maybe some of the highlights of the year, and then how can people you know, follow you guys throughout the year.
Yeah, here, let me pull it up on my phone too so I can read. I know we got we've had a lot of people call us, especially from, you know, because we live in Sioux Falls, so a lot of the sprint car guys, the 305 guys, you know, we ran the Iron Cup at the end of the season here, and my wife raced her car at Park Jefferson, and they got a ton of cars because they obviously don't get to race down, you know, in the Siouxland area often, so they get to you know, we put them on 3 nights this year, so that's a cool deal. That'll be a cool deal. We have the Tri-State guys come in with the late models. What else we got here? The Dirt Crown, obviously, and the end of the year stuff we're gonna do, you know, the South Dakota Nationals. We're hoping to, you know, possibly come up with some decent money for you know, the hobbies and the compacts, and do something special for them at the end of the year, because, you know, going through my race pass and looking at car counts and stuff through them, they draw the most cars. You know, they're the ones that are filling the field, you know, week in and week out. So I'd like to do something pretty big for those guys at the end of the year, and just see how it goes, you know. And we also got the late model street stocks they're going to race the same nights that the sprint cars race. So I've seen a couple of them up close and personal, and, you know, they're a stock car on steroids. So I'm excited to see those guys there, and that'll be cool, and get some of those guys that race up at Huset's and Hartford down with us, and you know, come race at our racetrack too, and get to, you know, race, you know, an hour away from home instead of just Huset's and Hartford in the area. So that'll be really cool, I think.
That will be cool. I mean, that's going to bring, I would think, new fans to the area as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not only because from Hartford, but from Huset's, but maybe there's going to be people that haven't seen those cars that will come watch those cars. So that's a great addition, I think, there.
You know, new drivers, new faces there for the fans. You know, the next little kid that loves that sprint car, you know, he's going to gain a new favorite driver, and, you know, hero cards and T-shirts, and just to bring more, a little bit more excitement to the area for sure. It's going to be really cool to see. So, but yeah, definitely excited about late models. Who doesn't like late models on a bull ring? That'll be a cool deal. You know, we got a couple guys that are going to come out that I think will definitely put on a show, and I'm excited about that. And you know, Ricky's one of my really good friends, and he's going to try to come out maybe once or twice and possibly drive my car, and I think that'll be really cool. And just a lot of excitement, and just ready to get going with it for sure.
That's awesome. We're going to see you guys this weekend, hopefully at the swap meet down in Columbus.
Yeah. Yep. We will be there. I think we'll be there Friday night.
Yep.
A little bit of a jot down there, so I think we're going to come down and hang out kind of for the weekend, and obviously we'll get to talk to you guys a little bit more and kind of talk to the guys in the area. And obviously Bobby down there at US 30, every time we came out, you know, from Arizona, I tried to stop there just because the hospitality of Bobby, and I love that racing at Columbus. So I'm excited to see him, and you know, David Johnson and his wife Angie, they were always super welcoming down there, so get to see them again. And it's definitely going to be cool because we can come down and race in that area for sure. A little upset that we didn't get the chance to race I-80, but definitely try to get down there and race a couple races in that area too. So we're still racers. We still want to race. Obviously it'll be probably be a little bit less than normal, or, you know, not every weekend, or, you know, try to hit the stuff during the week or whatever when we can. But we're still racers too. We still want to race, and you know, and go and support the people that, you know, come and support us for sure.
That's awesome. We can't wait, and we're excited for the for the 23 season, not only with us as Dirt Crown, but just to see what you guys do up at Interstate. It's going to be so much fun. And Wayne taking over next door. I mean, it's kind of crazy. He jumped on that Sunday idea right away, and then, was gracious enough to back off it when you guys come back on there. So
Sure.
I think it's going to be great up there. Just the racing in general in that area, and it's not that far.
Right, it's not. It's really not that far. I mean, we drove 3.5 hours to go race at Kokopall from the Phoenix area damn near every Saturday. So it's kind of one of those things you take for granted, I think, when you have so many different options to race during the week, that for us, a 3.5 hour haul to Boone or 3.5 hour trip to Columbus or Beatrice or just anywhere in general. I mean, that's pretty much what we did every weekend. So it's pretty nice to have something that's, only an hour from me that we could go race at, or, 2 hours to Spencer, or whatever the case may be. It's definitely going to be enjoyable to, get to go race wherever we want, whenever we want. She wants to load up after she gets off work and go race on a Monday night, she can, absolutely. So that's definitely a cool part about it. And just raising my daughter out here, I've obviously hardly even barely seen snow, and there's like 2 feet outside. So it's been obviously a little bit of a change, but, just a slower lifestyle, and the people out here are so friendly and willing to help. And it's just been awesome. So we're definitely excited for just life in general out here, and, get to spend it at the weekend at the racetrack during the weekends. What better life could you ask for?
You're exactly right. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you guys this weekend. Thanks for your time again, Chase, and hopefully Shelby's got the baby under control. And
yeah,
we'll see you guys this weekend. Thank you very much.
We'll talk to you guys. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Once again, that's Chase Alves, new promoter at the Interstate Speedway. Excited to see all the changes he's going to be doing here coming up in the next few weeks and months. Already investing a little bit in some of the old I-80 memorabilia out there, Scott. So, we'll see what you can come up with there.
The video you were showing there shows just some of the great stock car racing that's going to be up there. But I can't wait to see those billboards up going down the backstretch and into turn 3. I'm sure that's where he's going to put them. Man, it's going to be awesome. It's exciting, and it's cool to see some of the history of I-80, getting moved to another racetrack, and not just some scrapper coming in and buying stuff. So that's super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to have Shelby Alves now, you see Shelby Fry, a great sport mod racer, and Chase, obviously no slouch either in a race car. So it's awesome to have those guys in the Midwest, but now kind of pulling the reins in the Interstate Speedway deal. So that's pretty awesome too.
Absolutely. So we're excited to get up there on Sunday, August 13th. It's so cool to see all these different racetracks. We're going to be diving into a few more racetracks here in 2 more weeks, connecting with more promoters throughout, whether it be Nebraska, Kansas, South Dakota, and Iowa, the 4 states that we're going to be invading this summer. Coming up next, of course, your Tailored Computers and Repair quick time headlines. Of course, if you want a quick computer, call Dan at Tailored Computers and Repair. He'll get you up and running very fast. And, one of the big highlights over the weekend, Scott, did you watch any Chili Bowl action over the week?
I have to admit, I probably missed more than I should, but I was still pretty glued to it. I watched about every feature all week long. Obviously watched, Jake Neal. We had him on here, and Rico. The Wednesday night stuff, that was a little bit heart-wrenching, but thoughts going out to Ashton and his family. Glad to see he's okay. And then, I mean, you can't miss Sunday's marathon at 9 a.m. You wake up and you get some orange juice and a donut, and you start watching racing. I mean, not very many times out of the year you can do that and watch it till, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I think Flo said that they broadcasted over 90 hours of racing. I'm not joking. I probably watched at least 75 to 80% of that. I didn't have much of a life this last week. And Saturday, I legitimately was on at 9 a.m. watching the first. I think they were in the O feature, I think is where they started. And so, yeah, it's really cool to see a new driver on top this year. Of course, Logan Seavey getting the win. You see him right there on the inside lane. He's driving Kevin Swindell's hot rod this year. Of course, Kevin debuting Victory Fuel as his title sponsor, a new drink that he's debuted as well. But Kevin, he's made it to victory lane at Chili Bowl how many times as a driver. It's cool to see him, obviously, after that vicious wreck he had at Knoxville a number of years ago, having to step away from the driver's seat. But as a team owner, being able to get back to the top of the Chili Bowl again here with Logan at the helm.
Man, that was almost a super team they put together there with Kevin's history there, and Logan, he's just a wheelman anyways. That car unloaded and everybody kind of picked it out right away that was car to be all week, and man, they were right. And Tanner Thorson was coming. Unfortunately, maybe it's the 2 extra days of racing. Maybe it's just the way that it went. Friday night, the track locking down and taking a little bit of rubber, and then Saturday at the end they're taking a little bit of rubber. But again, those guys, how many races did they have all week long? And before that, they had the Tulsa shootout. And let's face it, the feature was phenomenal. If you were disappointed in that feature, I don't know what's going to make you happy.
Yeah, and I hear complaints sometimes about like the racetrack at the Chili Bowl sometimes getting locked down. Like, you have to realize these guys work on this racetrack once a year. It is not a permanent facility that they can just sit there and manicure for months at a time. They get a 2-3 week span to build the racetrack, get it ready. You have all that racing each and every day from Monday through Saturday, not to mention the Tulsa shootout 2 weeks earlier, which is just as many laps, if not more. So, I mean, I think that staff there does a spectacular job. And, as you were saying, with all the drama that happened throughout the week with obviously the injury going on with Emerson Axum, who had the issue there. What was that, on Thursday? Ashton, that's right, Ashton Torgensen. Yeah. And man, that's the way it finished off. That was awesome. And the fact that Ashton actually made it back, and he was at the facility on Saturday, introduced him before the features got started. So it was great to see him actually back inside the Chili Bowl there, the Tulsa Expo Center, and ready to watch the races. But we'll look forward to 2024 Chili Bowl.
Ryan, have you ever been to the Chili Bowl?
I have not. I've been told I need to get down there. That's just one event I have not been able to sneak down to Oklahoma for.
Maybe we need to make a road trip out of it, so we all have an excuse to go again.
If that offer sits in January, I'll go ahead and go next year. Absolutely.
Man, I haven't been there for probably 10, 15 years. But it used to be something that it was, you always made sure you went and you had tickets, and just the who's who. And it's not just a race like Tyler's talking, like Chase's talk. It's not just a race. It's an event, and it's a really good event, and they do a really good job down there. And if you're bored or you didn't enjoy it, it's your own damn fault.
Amen to that. Of course, another big news item this past week or two. How about the Malvern Bank 360 Sprint Car Tour coming in 2023? Of course, the Malvern Bank 360 Sprint Cars were essentially kind of a bi-weekly racing at I-80 this past year. Joe was able to add them and get them in a lot of nights, which was awesome to keep that 360 sprint car racing alive in the state. But now the tour is coming back. It's the first time we've had a tour in 4 or 5 years in Nebraska since the Nebraska 360 sprints, disbanded a few years ago. But man, how about this schedule that we've got coming up here? The different tracks, different states. I mean, you got a lot of Norfolk there. That's a fun, tight bull ring. McCool Junction, they just added, which is awesome to see. We already talked about Eagle Raceway. That's going to be great. And I think one event that is going to be two events that are really unique. Beatrice Speedway. I don't remember the last time they've actually had a 360 show at Beatrice. And one racetrack is probably one of my favorite racetracks in the country, Stewart Raceway in Stewart, Iowa. That little bull ring is going to be fun to watch. Of course, your mainstay, Thayer County Speedway, on the schedule as well. Good to see him back at Deschler.
Man, it's awesome. The support that Jay has given to the racing world with Malvern Bank and Dirt Track Bank. Again, a huge thank you to those folks, but also Joe Kaziski and his staff and family that have stepped up, and Joe's a late model Hall of Famer, but here he is seeing the need to keep these sprint cars alive in the area, and stepping up and doing what he can to give us some great 360 sprint cars in the area. And the schedule's awesome. If you can't make it to Harlan, well, hopefully you can make it to McCool, or there's just enough races around, and they're spread out, and it's good, and it's going to be something great to see. And Tyler's race, like we talked about earlier, back at Eagle Raceway, the 360 sprint cars on a Sunday night at the end of September, now with the MSTS and Dale Furby and his group up there. I look for that to just be a great conclusion to their night, or to their season.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many Race Saver sprint car drivers that race weekly at Eagle maybe decide to pitch in on a 360. I know, like last year, like Tyler Drucke, I don't even think he ran any 360 races. He was mainly Race Saver, and then he ran a lot of 410 over at Knoxville and Houston. So, guys like that. Of course, you've got the Danleys, who have been still in the 360, Stu Snyder, Cody Ledger, Jack Dover. A lot of those guys still race shows here and there when they can. But the fact that they have a series that they can commit to now, hopefully that'll start to build that car count in the area back up again.
Yeah, and that's the best part about it, is that they have stability. They know that they can race 12 races this year on a 360, and maybe that's all that they can get out of a 360 before they need to rebuild it. And so they can pick and choose. And the 305 guys, I mean, there's some of them that are more than enough equipment and more than enough talent, and they can do it. They can go race competitively enough with the 360 guys, and just seeing some of the purse money, it's going to be really close to what you see on a weekly basis over at Knoxville. So again, a big thank you to Joe Kaziski and Malvern Bank guys for coming up and putting money in for that deal. It's just really cool, and like we keep mentioning, we have to stick together like this to make sure that the racers are getting appreciated, and we're giving them a place to race, and racetracks are staying open. Unfortunately, I feel that some racetracks get stagnant, and the crowd, it's different racing every night, but you got to give them some excitement. So bringing in a 360 or a SLMR or something like that, something a little bit different, is what's going to get the excitement back in the racing. So really cool to see, and really excited to see how Joe and Malvern Bank and that whole team work together to put on 12 big races for the 360 sprint cars.
Absolutely. One final headline. It is officially here. Busy weekend for you and Rob and the whole Dirt Crown gang. Of course, the Racers Winter Swap Meet kicking off again on Saturday. And actually, before we get into that, remind people we do have the Stock Car Crown Banquet on Friday night as well.
Yeah, so we take keys of the building here tomorrow. We'll be in there tomorrow night working. It's a little bit different building than what we were used to, but we'll get it all set up, and a great list of vendors that are going to come here, so that come Saturday, it's going to be some of the same familiar people, but new people as well. And so Friday after setup, and there's still guys who are still be coming in for setup, we're gonna do our stock car banquet. And man, we've had great support throughout our stock car banquet, but I can't thank Ronnie Humphrey enough with ProGlow. He stepped on board. We'll have stuff from ProGlow to give away during the stock car banquet. Literally our goal, and it's achieved. We may have to draw twice. If you're attending the stock car banquet and you're a signed up member, which everybody in the top 25 is a signed up member, you're not only going to take home your points fund money, which is over $17,000, you're going to take home contingencies and trophies. So ProGlow, Zamp, I can't thank Dave Zamperini at Zamp Helmets enough. Everybody that's going to attend the banquet is going to come home with something from Zamp. Kelly Payton and Eric Daly at Aero Race Wheels. Pat Fagan and and Bo over at Fast Shafts, Shell Valley, Travis Roth, Milestone Marketing, Matt Buzzard. Matt hasn't been a sponsor of ours all year and stepped up, throwing in a little bit of extra bonus cash for some drivers. We had Conklin Victory Lane. The folks at Conklin were going to be giving away some Conklin products during the banquet on Friday night. Chad Wolf, BRB, they built some body panels. They're going to give away a body kit, doors, fenders, and quarters, thanks to BRB. So those guys will also be at the swap meet. So make sure you stop by and check those guys out. Scheller Racing Shocks, they've been our sponsor all year. Ben Schaller and Justin Suter over there. Fox Shocks, they've been in North Carolina and all over promoting themselves, and they're sticking up with us again. Shotcockery Restart Zone, but we're gonna have Shotcockery shock certificates to give away. Brandon Johnson and Big Johnson Race Cars, we'll have some spindles to give away. Clay Money, Doug Money down at Multi-Fire Wires, we're gonna give away plug wires. They've been a supporter of ours from the get-go. Bike Racing Engines, $1,000 certificate towards an engine there. Clark Orth, he's kind of our art t-shirt guy. He did our stock car crown shirts this year. He did our dirt crown shirts this year. He stepped up with some certificates to give away. We can't thank the guys at West Hill Welding enough. I talked to him last week about a crazy idea that, Rob and I usually come up with at the last minute. During the stock car banquet, if you're perfect attendance, we're going to give away a fire pit that's custom. It's got a stock car on it that's cut out, and it's got the Dirt Crown logo and the crown.
That's awesome.
And so really cool things. It's just going to be a lot of fun. 25th in points gets $200. John Eaton for an extra $1,000 in memory of his late wife Leanne. That's going home with one of our drivers. Jordan Grabowski was our points champion. We'll walk out with $4,000. I like to see the weekly racing continue, and we don't want to take anything away from weekly racing, but man, I think our soccer series is really going to prove that guys like to have a little bit of change. They're still going to support their local racetracks, and we're going to support them. We're gonna up the ante a little bit. Austin Bronner walks out with $1,000 for the SSS Motorsports Hard Charger. So these are all big paydays for these guys, and like I said, for 25th in points is $200. For 20th in points is $400, and it just goes up from there. And it's not just the money; it's the great racing that we have with the stock car stuff, and the great supporters and contingencies that we'll have. Going back to the swap meet, so that's Friday night is the stock car banquet. We can run through. We counted out, the actual number of tables of how many 10x10 booths are going to be there, and that number is kind of skewed when you look at some of these guys having 6, 8, 10 booths at a time. Lighting Motorsports, Jeremy, great folks there. They'll be there with us again this year. Matthew Lance at X Factor Motorsports, Ken and Sandy Eichhoff from Auto Truck and RV. Sean Buckley is a new face. He'll be there with us. He does some engine work and whatnot. RS Customs, that's definitely going to be a booth that you're going to want to visit. Again, Dave from Zamp Helmets. We did it last year. We gave away a custom fire suit. This year, we're going to give away a carbon fiber helmet. So part of the RS Customs booth is going to be the Zamp booth. They're going to have helmets and suits and gloves and shoes and all kinds of goodies there. But you stop in their booth, you post on Facebook a picture of your favorite Zamp apparel, whether it be a helmet or gloves or shoes. Maybe there's a suit that really catches your eye. Tag Zamp Racing and Dirt Crown in it. That enters you into the drawing for the helmet that we'll do at 3:00 on Saturday. Also with RS Customs, they'll have a medieval chassis or two there. Something really cool there. Outback Motorsports, Jeff Hosey, those guys have been a great supporter of the Racers Winter Swap Meet for many years, and the Hobby Name Racing just goes on and on and on. So it's great to have Jeff and his team with us. You know, a big display of parts for sale, new and used stuff all throughout the building. Austin Bronner, the 10A Race Shrouds. I see he posted online the other day about having some race shrouds, and if you need one, make sure you call ahead of time so he doesn't run out. And just the comments behind that. Austin is a racer that races with us, but at the same time, you know, he's known for some of the best race shrouds that are out there. So just goes to prove that racers are some of the best people out there, and a really good group of folks that are all going to sit behind each other and support each other. We'll have the tool guy, MPP Tools, again, great big display of tools that are always for sale. The karting world, Midwest Rage will be there, so that's super cool. Noonan Industries will be on board with us. Continental Batteries, Don Crouch has been a supporter of racing for a while. We'll have Brett from the Western Iowa Wingless Sprint Cars. He'll be on with us. James Hopkins from Arc Cut Fabrication? He'll be there. Anthony Roth, again, another racer. Elite Mobile Blasting will be with us. Renegade Race Fuels is somebody new this year. Man, this list just goes on and on and on, and I could go on for another 20 minutes talking about people. But we're going to have a lot of racetracks there too. We mentioned Roger Hayden. Roger's going to be there with Race Saver, Eagle Raceway, the Little E racetrack, the new Blue River Raceway. Brandon and Trevor will be there for your Crete racetrack. Obviously, you'll have Bobby Lincoln, Janelle, and that team from US 30 and Dawson County. Chase and Shelby Alves from Interstate Speedway. We'll have the Thunder Valley Dragway back with us. He'll be down with us. We have Tommy Denton, obviously Beatrice, the new promoter there, and over at Fairbury. So there'll be stuff about that. Eric Cerny with the Midwest Classic Stock Car Association. It just goes on and on and on, and we can't thank everybody for their support enough. And if you want to come out, find some deals, find new used parts. If nothing else, it's just a good time to get together with your friends, you know, your old racers.
Absolutely.
That you used to hang out with all summer and you haven't seen them since September or October. And now here it is. It comes to the middle of January and you're ready to get back in the itch. And so it's going to be a great weekend, and we'll see everybody Friday morning at 9 a.m. So move-in starts, and then we'll see everybody on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So that's when the show will start. So
yeah, and I was going to mention one of the racetracks. Actually, you can actually win a 602 crate engine with a $100 donation. Chad Smith posted this the other day, and I think part of the proceeds the donations go to the Tanner Pelster Memorial, which is one of our Stock Car Crown Series events. That's a cool deal that I seen here scrolling through Facebook the other day.
How cool is that? $100. Your chance to win a brand new 602 crate engine from Friesen. Anonymous donor had stepped up and got that engine for the Boone County Raceway, and in memory of Tanner. We've talked about Tanner and Dahmer a bunch throughout our stock car stuff. It's just an awesome deal. So to see that, it's going to be awesome. Just another reason you have to come and support the Racers Winter Swap Meet, but support the racetracks, support the local businesses that are there on a Sunday morning when you need a part to go racing on Sunday night, or lighting catches you at Eagle Raceway after you got tore up in a heat race. Just different things like that. Jeff Hosey up north. It's just come support all the racing people and check out the new parts that are going to be there and the new ideas. And like we said, the medieval chassis will be there, and it's going to be a great time. And you got the map up, so that's definitely an important thing right there, Ryan.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully everybody understands that with the gambling initiative that happened in Nebraska. We've had
this is the old location right here. It used to be here. So it's for people, they would still need to park in the regular parking lot, correct? And then they just walk over to the new location.
Yeah, and there's going to be enough parking. I mean, along that building and then throughout there. I know you guys are getting a little more snow up that way, but sounds like the crew is all over that up there already. So, and I'm sure tomorrow and Friday they'll get that all handled for us, and it's going to be really nice moving people in and out with more doors, and the heating looks better and different things like that. So yeah, same area. You're going to go to the same parking lot, just going to go in a different building. We can't fix it. We can't change it. This is the hand we're dealt, and this is the time we make the best out of what we've been dealt. So we're going to give it our best, and all the vendors are going to be in there, and it's going to be a great day on Saturday.
Awesome. We look forward to it. Get on out there to the Racers Winter Swap Meet. I always kind of consider this the official start to racing season in the state of Nebraska, because right once you get down to the swap meet, you're pretty much getting ready to get your car wrapped. Obviously, you're getting it all put back together, and you're racing first week of March already. So, I mean, we're right across the street from getting racing going. Obviously, you can go down to Texas and February. You can go out to Arizona right now and race. So, I mean, 2023 is right here, Scott. Can you believe it?
It's crazy. And you're right, Ryan. Even if you're not looking for parts, you haven't thought about your race car yet, just when you hang out with the racing people and it gets you excited about it, you go home and you get in the garage and you dig. Either you've dug through your garage and you found what you want to get rid of, or maybe some guys have dug on their car a little bit and decided, man, I really need to get a couple parts, and this is what I'm going to go for and look for. This is just a great kickoff to the year, and we're excited to see everybody. It's racing is literally not far away. It's January 18th today, 17th, 18th. And then we're
like
we race in March 11th is when we race at Beatrice. So not far away at all. So it'll be a good time. Time to get rolling, that's for sure. So we'll celebrate 22 with our stock car guys on Friday night, and then it's open to anybody that wants to come up there. It's $15 if you want to eat a meal with us. Obviously, that's going to be something that happens at 7:30. I think they're going to open the doors at 7 for us. There's a bar up there, and it's upstairs in the old building up in they have another little convention room up there. So we'll try to have some signage and get everybody in the right spots. Bar open at 7 and 7:30. We feed you, and then we go into the awards and contingencies. So we look to have a great night and a great weekend just to start off the 2023 season.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage of Inside Line, episode 6 here tonight. Of course, big thank you. We cannot go without thanking our title sponsor, Dirt Track Bank. If you need a loan, whether it's for your race operation or anything else, go ahead and get a hold of Dirt Track Bank, also Malvern Bank. They do so much for the racing community, not only the state of Nebraska, but all over the country. And we're excited to have them on. Also, Taylor Computers and Repair. Get a hold of Dan. If you need to make your computer quicker, get a hold of Dan at Taylor Computers and Repair. Obviously, we'll take next week off, but in 2 weeks, we'll be back in, and hopefully we'll have Rob back in with us as well. And I'm excited to be hearing about a few more racetracks that we're going to be visiting off this summer, Scott.
Yeah, we'll talk to some more racetracks. Nic Baalman from Mel Hambelton will jump on with us. Hopefully he's feeling better by then. So we'll have Nick on next time and a few more racetracks and any other exciting news that may happen between now and then. You never know what Rob and Ryan and the whole Dirt Crown team are up to. So we can't thank everybody enough for your support here, and we're excited for 2 weeks, and hopefully we see you this weekend.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.